All right.
And you think to yourself, it's completely impossible over all these mountains, or whatever that challenge is, you might think it's completely unobtainable. But when you break it down bit by bit, go step by step, what I've found, more than anything, is just that the actual mental side of cycling, it far outweighs the physical side.
Streams sorted out. Thanks for joining in.
Stay home today.
Headed to the airport, right?
The time to get sane. See through the gray.
Yeah, I actually enjoy this one.
If I can't make this alone,
Style game.
I'll get lost in the world. If you got something to say, if you got something to say, if you got something to say, if you got something to say. Don't make up your mind.
Quarter first flight. Nice.
Stay home. Blind.
There. Mic volume.
Take the rest
There.
of
Down,
your
down.
life.
There we go. That should do it. Be a lot of Cotty music going on. Cotty talking at least.
I like the whole concept of A to B, crossing mountains, crossing natural geographic ranges in the world. It's like that feels like a real mission. You never know what's going to happen. You never know who you're going to meet on the journey. You never know how it's going to end up. You never know the weather. There's so many variables, a million variables. It's just got so much of a draw, just to try and beat all those variables and make it to the end. And it just comes from a little seed inside which says, yeah, you know what? Maybe if we apply ourselves and work hard at it.
That's the other thing to worry about, sound. Get my audio up. Yep. Hey, morning Eric. Yeah, just a one-off. Workout here in the morning, getting ready for the weekend. Keeping the legs turning over, moving well, getting ready. Pack the bike up after this coming week. Headed to team camp, so I'm one. I'm watching. That and trying to get on my
It's actually a bit of a funny story attached to the Tretema de Lavaredo. First used in 1967 in the Giro. Well, I say it was first used. The stage was actually deemed null and void at the end because the spectators were pushing all the riders up to the summit.
oh
It probably wasn't actually that funny for old Felix Gimondi, who won that stage, then had it taken away from him. A year later, Merckx romped up the slopes they're on at the moment. Actually, on that occasion, he said it was one of his best victories ever, so such is the heritage of the Tretema.
There we go. I got them all now. Nice. The mini cadence. Up and low. There we go.
Feels like you're just clinging to the edge of the world by a little strip of tarmac. Gives me the sense of when I was a kid, just lying on my back and watching the whole world spin above me. Only this time the clouds have been replaced with mountains.
Lost in comprehension, am I one? Open the door, I'm leaving this house, the fire burning bull. Change has become, and we're all waiting for time to run.
Hey, Rich. Nice job, real road. Yeah, it's raining like crazy here in California. Fortunately, gonna miss that. But should be meeting up with the team here on Tuesday for team camp the rest of the week.
Oh,
Really excited about that.
look at that. This is definitely why we ride.
All right.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to actually get the real perspective. Although you can see the mountains, you know, right from the very start, you're surrounded 360. You know, sometimes you just got to stop and try and absorb their magnitude. And you know, as a cyclist, you know, it's pretty much perfection summed up in a 7K climb.
Yeah, definitely more than some. Enjoy the outside, Rich. The outside. See when you get back. See? That's what we need. I'm gonna carry the jackets up, right, Martin? That's what we need. Gotta convince them when you get there. Where are you going? Up. 90.
This is how you're telling me you're doing fine, but bringing out your boyfriend all over town. Well, I don't think it's half as bad as I thought it would be.
Nice.
Watching you.
Let me know when you find him, Martin.
Climbing the big ring, first couple of Ks of the Zhao are actually downhill. That's probably the reason why the sign back there says 11K to the top, but all the stats you see signify the climb is just over 8K in length.
I need something that can bring me more. Someone who has all the things I'm falling for. It's not as easy as it seems to go out with broken dreams, but I've got a message to be careless to what you're feeling. It's the heart with which you're dealing. So come now and listen to.
As the road
Threshold
moves up
time.
between 8 and 10%, straight into quite a thick forest. You know, take your time, take a deep breath. You can smell the pine, a little waterfall, just to whet your appetite. The nice thing is, although it's quite dense, there's often little breaks in the trees. It just teases you with the big Dolomite peaks ahead. Keeping you excited right from the word go.
I miss you, my This is how I'm telling you I'm doing fine, by drinking myself all the way to the ground. Well, I do think it's twice as hard as it should
2.5 k's to the summit. It's really the first time as the trees start to fall away that you get out into the real open. At the same time, I'm starting to get this sense of something great's about to appear. Being teased all the way up, panoramics off to the left at the moment, just absolutely jaw-dropping. I think there's even more good stuff to come by the top.
I'll be your electric bike.
That's the true spirit of the mountains. You know, you're never really quite sure what you're going to get. You turn a corner.
Welcome if you just joined in.
Cowbells.
Get to the other side. Here on
People
Sufferfest.
can make sure that you're going to have such a perfect day.
Nice little tempo work. Keep the legs spinning and moving. There we go. Locate it. Low, low, low. Hands up. Here we go.
Time's completely changed its character now, 2.5 k's from the top. The bends keep coming in quick succession, but you can see so much more. 360 panoramics, absolutely to die for. Really wanted to show the true beauty of the Dolomites. Today we really couldn't have wished for more. It's the little monkey in your head which is always there saying, stop, stop, I can't do it, I can't do it. It's not. It's just you've got to put him to one side, look at the road, keep going, keep plugging away, you know, and eventually you'll do things which you think kind of unimaginable at the time. This is where the climb really starts. Got the cows just grazing. They're quite peaceful, but the road's already ramped up to 12%, so you know the legs aren't quite as tranquil as those guys over there. It doesn't look like the gradient's going to drop much below 8 or 9 now, so really is all the way to the top's going to be a stern test.
Yep. Go ahead. That water's right.
Just over halfway. You see the forest is really light.
Joining in.
It's very little
Headed up
shelter.
the 4 climbs of the
in the whole
Dolomites.
region. Just get to appreciate these incredible panoramics. Little waterfalls.
And that cadence right.
That's all you hear in the beginning, a little stream which you run alongside. And it feels that the road's just etched on the edge of the mountain. Really is amazing.
Alright, we're going back up. Ramp this guy. That's cloudy eating. Honey stinger bar? What is that? 30 minutes in. Whole thing's about an hour and a half.
Gradient's relentless. Never drops below about 10%. It's so worth it. Climbing so high, it feels like we're about to start flying.
Oh, we're going up. On top of it. Here we go. There we go. End up there, like that. First one down. Solid. Recovery here.
Bend after bend, double-digit gradients. It's nothing like climbing to the top of the world on your own to make you feel alive once more. In the centre of Molina, you get a real sense of the history in this place. I mean, in itself it's a nice picture, but we spent a couple of seconds just looking at it. You've got the blacksmith, it looks like they're grinding up some grain there, horses pulling up some you know, heavy loads, moving it further up the slopes, water wheel, you've got, you know, the mill in the background. And you know, the sense of history and everything just in this whole place just encompasses what, you know, the Italian way of life is. If you look up there, that's the church, so this is probably like a couple hundred years back of how these people actually lived. And to be honest, not that much has changed in the village. It looks amazing.
Alright. Go.
It's always nice to get a bit of insider knowledge before you start a climb. We found this really cool map. We're just about here in Molina. We're going to climb all the way up, like this, through the forest. Looks like we've got a stream which we're going to run by next to, past some huts, up to, hopefully by the top it's going to open out, right up to number 8 up there,
60.
Pasamangan. You can see all the different climbs, and yeah, we're not going to be at the very summit. We'll have to get some climbing boots on for that, but we'll get pretty close.
Sorry, Captain, I was late. Too much whiskey, you know the rest.
Running in, if you're just jumping in, welcome. Sufferfest app to get to the other side. Nice tempo workout. Legs firing up. We're gonna low cadence on this one. We're good? Right. There we go. Hello. Hey, good morning, Rick. The nice tempo workout Sufferfest has. At 90 minutes long. Definitely super engaged. Great storyline. Definitely recommend it.
Sorry, Captain, I let you down. Arms and mama are not my choice. Maybe I'll see you around. Say hello to all your boys.
Yeah.
To have some fun. I just need a touch of sun.
You guys really headed out to bracket field today, or bracket race today, Rick? Pretty bad rain today. Alright, get down. Release that tension in your legs. Oh, wait, how about that?
Arms and bombs and washed up rain. Just the way
The road's tiny. Okay.
hungry children battle rain. Cold and gray, coming flame. It's not the world I need to see.
It was the Church of Mary, is the guardian of all the workers in the forest on the Passamangan.
Sorry, Captain, I let you down. Arms and bombs are not my choice. Maybe I'll see you around. Say hello to all your boys.
Alright. Got low cadence up next.
I just need to have some fun. I just need
60 back to 60.
I just need to have some fun. I just need a touch of sun.
Hey, good morning, Kurt. Kat. Thanks for the like there. Check. Power on. Nice and steady.
I just need to have some fun. I just need a touch of sun.
Hey, Michelle. Morning. Thanks for the love. Nice. That's what I was thinking. Thought you guys were have a booth out there, Rick. With this rain, nuts. Definitely bring your rain gear. Thank goodness for platforms, studios like yours, right? Hopefully you guys will be busy later today.
Like a ghost into the night. Like the magic in your medicine.
What's beautiful about the Mangan is it's not a main artery through the Dolomites, it's a lot quieter. The road just threads its way through the forest, kilometre after kilometre. The aroma of freshly cut pine as you fill your lungs and legs with it. You know, the gradient's not that steep, it pitches up to about 10, 11, but everything else just sort of gives you that time to think about life, think about what's going on in your head, what's going on in the real world, and yeah, it puts it all to rest. You just come and ride your bike and eventually climb above the trees and can't help but feel like a champion.
Like another fucking change in style.
Right, one last block of low cadence here. All right, hit it, Rick. Catch you later. Top 30. All right, spinning down. 15 seconds to go. Pockets.
Unknown roads, passes, where we have really nearby the Paso del Herbe, where you can climb up from San Martino, or the special locality, the side road.
Yeah.
Whoa.
It's nice and steep.
Piccolino.
Hey, Susan. Morning to you. Thanks, Mark. Alright, just join in, we're on the second half. Got 2 climbs and some drills to do. Headed up our 3rd climb to the Dolomites today. Here on the Sufferfest app.
You know you're on for something special when the roads start off and they're only about wide enough for a single lane, one car. You know, it's real rinky-dink. You know, you've got some old ruins and yeah, it almost feels it's got like an enchanted feeling to it, this village. So many little things to see and the ancient buildings and old broken walls in the background. Really a perfect start to get the climbing legs in order.
Well done.
Definitely one of the longer climbs in the region, well over 20 k's. But after the first 8, it's really where the climb starts proper. Pass through the town of San Pedro, and the road immediately halves in size and doubles in gradient up to double figures. It's really where you start getting into the thick of it. Actually, I should say getting out of the thick of it. We're completely exposed now. The first signs of the Otla mountain range off to the right, stair-stepping our way up in quick succession, just enjoying it for what it is.
Hey, good morning. Running in to get to the other side. Sufferfest app. It's J-Flow with 2 WC and Endurance Lab. Getting through this nice tempo workout today. Whoa! Comes the cow. Oh, didn't know that. I say that every time. It's going good. Goes in, goes down. Relax. You got this.
May only have an average gradient of 6%. You don't want to let that fool you. First section, it's really hovering around 5, 6. Then we've got a little downhill. San Pedro is where it kicks up, 14%. Holds that form double digits. Now at 15, got about 16 Ks under the belt. So super tough, but just look out to the right, feel the jagged Dolomite peaks. That's what they're world famous for, giving you the extra motivation to keep go, go, go. Wow, the Erb's got so much character. The strip of tarmac just keeps going. What I love about the Erb, we're only 2/3 of the way up. It's completely out in the open. Make sure you've got enough water with you. Quick coal collective tip, if you're ever struggling to find water, just try and find a church and you'll always find a little fresh water fountain there.
Nice.
So hopefully keep you from dehydrating on a hot summer's day. The climb itself, absolutely sensational. While a lot of people are really transfixed with riding the biggest climbs in the Dolomites, those with the so-called prestige and a little bit of Giro history with them, the João, the Valparola, the Pazarego, the Padoy, you name it, it's a who's who. The Erb quietly sits up to the north, just peacefully minding its own business. The best thing about it is you're practically seeing no one all day. The more you push, the more it just gives and delivers. Absolutely amazing.
And gear, power up. Bottom of the threshold.
Well, the waterfall coming down there. We're getting close to the top now. I think we've got our last plateau. Sun's starting to dip, so a little bit of a race against time, just the way we like it. There's a certain humility that the herb exudes. It's as if the higher you climb, the more tranquil it feels. May not be the highest or the hardest, but I guess all the prestige in the world can't really buy you peace.
Again.
Monte Grappa isn't just one mountain, it's actually 10 different sites to climb, each with their different challenges, some as short as 16k, short, some as long as about 28k, going up to a 26% gradient as well, so let's see if we can tackle a couple today. But yeah, it's certainly a mountain with a lot of history and a lot of heritage from World War I, World War II, all the fighting, the Italians trying to save their country from invasion. So yeah, quite a different place to the usual sort of tranquility that you'd expect on a mountain. just crept into July. Even so, there's a little bit of shelter on these early parts. It's absolutely stifling, well into the 30s degree today. That's typical of the region at this time of the year. In some respect, the Monte Grappa has a similar sort of imposing authority as Ventoux has over the southern Provence. Got the flatlands, kilometre after kilometre, stretching out to the horizon, and suddenly, boom, the mountain just rises up out of nowhere. Gone past bend number 20, about 10 k's in. It looks like we're out of the tree line now. Finally, poplar trees have disappeared. We're right out in the open. 6%, 6-7%. Hasn't been any let up yet. It's been about 8-9 all the way up until this point. About 6k to go. The gradient's turned itself up another notch. 13, 14%. There's really a section you've got to be aware of and dig deep.
No need to be afraid. I was in a different world back then. I lived in another world back then. Hey, no need to be afraid. I was in a different world back then. I lived in another world back then. Come, fire in the night sky. I wait and anticipate your sign. I alone.
To me, it doesn't really matter what technique you have. I've always felt comfortable like that. It's a technique that I've just adopted. Don't have a massive amount of power in the saddle, so I don't grind out big gears. Maybe from a mountain bike background, I spin a real easy gear, and just always found that if I can be out the saddle and just get into a really good rhythm, then you know you sort of float your way up the climb really.
I was in a different world back then. I lived in another world back then. Hey, hey, no need to be afraid.
3 kilometres from the top. The climb's taken on a completely different character. There's road markings back there from previous Giros. It was here in 2010, 2014. Battle scars of some sort, but yeah, really not what the Grappa's famous for. This is a battlefield, a bloody battlefield at that, in World War I and II. And yeah, as we crested the hill over here, as I say, the whole character changed, and there's so many undulations. It's almost like you're hanging on the edge of the cliff now. So many places to hide, and you know, you just think about the wars that went on, and you know, the thousands of people who shed their lives to fight for their country on these slopes, and it almost gives you a bit of an eerie sort of chill, makes your blood run cold a bit. And yeah, 100 years ago it would have been a very different place. Peaceful today, but yeah, the history that this mountain's got is unquestionable.
disco. Born from embers and disco. This place is where the underground sound.
Ci hanno già pensato gli altri. Oggi non abbiamo più niente da fare, resta qui ad annoiarti. Le canzoni più belle sono quelle che ti scordi, le dovresti registrare. Se chiudi tutti i tuoi sogni nel cassetto non si realizzeranno mai. Stasera fa freddo, restiamo a casa a cancellare i lividi. La tua bellezza per me è una forma di talento. Stringimi, sono ancora qui, sono ancora qui. Dimmi come si potrebbe stare meglio di così. Sono ancora qui, resto ancora qui con te. Quando lavi l'automobile diventa più pulita, ma si vedono più i graffi. Organizziamo un'uscita con quelli delle medie. Tra loro c'è uno che pure si è strafatto, mantiene gli occhi lucidi e blu. Se sono ancora vivo, il motivo sei